Hey everybody, it's Dr. Williamson here. I'm with my good friend Jeff, who recently got 100% permanent and total. We're going to share his story with everybody so we can learn from the process and celebrate. So, Jeff, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name's Jeff Wanderscheid. I spent my time in the Air Force, did 4 years with a deployment into Desert Storm, which is where a lot of my story started a long, long time ago, it seems like. And I was introduced to Woobie through some work friends. And as I was trying to navigate the system by myself, and I was becoming highly unsuccessful, and I just got to the point where I needed some help, and it's just came from heaven. And my buddy goes, "Have you heard of Woobie?" And I go, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And then I looked it up, had my initial conversation with them. I signed up, and I got to tell you, it was the best damn thing I've done in my life, other than marry my wife and have my kids.
Man,
So
I'll take a bronze third place for that, man. That's pretty good though. So, and you signed up pretty recently, right? It's been less than a year, I think. Is that right? Or how long have you been on board
it's
when you
been
first
less
came
than
up?
a year. So it happened kind of quick. So when I started, I got myself all the way to 10%.
Yep.
All the way to 10%. And then everything else I was doing was getting denied. And I did not know what I was doing. So, but um, I quickly learned that there is a process. Um, there is wording. There are documents. There's just things that needed to happen. And I was highly uninformed, and I didn't have the resources that I needed. And Whoopi provided all of that.
Right. And it's kind of a shame, because the reality is the pre-Woobie Jeff and then the intro Woobie Jeff were the same person, same issues. We didn't create anything out of thin air. It's just like you said, it's like the wording, the documents, and really how to navigate that system. And I would say, to everybody out there, it's a damn shame that the VA just doesn't do this the right way the first time. Nothing would make me happier than for the VA to do it right. And I worked for the VA and all was kosher in the world. But that's not how government works. That's not how bureaucracy and money works. So, without getting too far down the rabbit hole, I'm proud to do what we do because we're honest and we fight like hell. And for guys like Jeff and everyone else, it's not hard to tell the truth, and it's not hard to advocate when you have evidence and facts. And that's
Right.
something we do. And I think compared to some of the competitors, we don't have a magic bullet, right? We're not going to give you some pre-templated copy paste document that's, we've got an in at the VA. No, we do everything the hard way, but the right way. And I think that's what's really important is that in your case, right? Like we had a couple key issues that once we took you on board, did you review a system? Say, well, you have these couple issues that we know are very legitimate based on looking at your medical record and your complaints, and it pairs up well with what the VA rates pretty well. So you want to get into kind of a few of the specifics of what did we actually do for you when you came on board?
So what Whoopi did, what you all did, you and your team, they organized my life. But I had to because I'd been out for quite a while, and I had been putting this off for a long time. Because when I was in, let me back up a little bit. When I was in, making VA claims was not a thing. I don't know anybody who did it. It just was not a thing. But as I have gotten older, I've been dealing with this stuff for a long time. And as I've gotten older, and you know how it is, as you get older, things get a little bit worse, a little bit worse. And I just got to the point, it's like I need help. I'm starting to need help. The doctor's appointments are becoming more frequent. The symptoms are becoming worse, and just I'm just having to deal with things more. So when I got a hold of Whoopi, what Whoopi did for me was it organized my life. It took the chaos I had all around me, because that's how the system was designed. It organized it, and it took each one of my afflictions, and you all just took it one by one. You just broke it down. So I just say you calm the chaos. Does that, if that makes any sense at all? Um, And we just came up with a plan. We had an algorithm. We're going to do this, then this, then this, then this. And the one thing I wanted to tell people who are even in Woobie or considering is trust the process that you all have created. And I did. Do not do too much too soon. Do not just throw a bunch of spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks. That's just, it doesn't work. And that's what I did my first time. I sent them 1,000 pages of stuff, and then they denied everything because I didn't know what I was doing. So Woobie, you and your team just organized everything I had, the 1,000 pages of documentation, even the stuff I had to go backwards on, and you just broke it down into little bite-sized pieces, which made it very manageable, and it just calmed the chaos.
Absolutely. And one of the things, I like to reference it with a metaphor. It's having ammunition. Every condition and symptom you have is potentially ammunition. Some ammunition is a 22 round, some is a hand grenade, some is, a 7.62 round. So it's really, well, what is going to be most effective at the right time, right? Close range, certain things you need a different type of ammunition, different type of round. So that's how we approach and how I approach all these claims. It's that you can't do all things at once well. It's like, velocity and accuracy. You must sacrifice one for the other. And I'm a big believer in quality over quantity. Now, sometimes there will be scenarios where we do claim 15 things at once if that's the right timing. And that's where it gets into my, ethos and my algorithm, so to speak, is that, it's not that one size fits all, but, I'm a surgeon. I think of it really tactically and how are we going to solve the problem? And you said it a little bit a minute ago. You must have a plan, and you must have a plan for an actual specific goal. Just throwing stuff out to the wilderness in any industry, in any part of your life, typically doesn't work out. You might get lucky. And that's kind of what I see with VA disability claims that are done without us or before, is that you're hoping on a lottery. You're hoping on something that, some VA person is going to go through all this. And no, my friend, I'm a big believer in organizing. Like you said, we do organize and bring calm to chaos, because what's necessary to do this right is to present a logical argument. It's like being in a courtroom, right? I'm not a lawyer, but I might as well be the way I argue. So having somebody who knows how to, on the front end, before you get into the courtroom, prepare your case, right? You give me the facts, you give me the evidence. It is a true partnership. It's not hand it over to Woobie and you're going to get what you want. It takes a partnership. And I think that's what I'm proud of the most, is that the hard work between the clients and me and our whole team is really important, because if you do things the right way, it's much more predictable than outcome, right? So I'm proud of what we did with you. And, we had a very, very wild claim with the GERD claim. I think we did quite successful in that realm, which is always wonderful to get better than expected results.
I was denied GERD because that was one I did on my own in the beginning when I didn't know what I was doing. Of course, that had been denied. I think GERD for me that's the one thing I've been dealing with the most since Desert Storm. And it was crazy to me that they denied it. It was 2 times, maybe 3. I have to go back and look, but it was at least 2 times it was denied. And then I got serious, and then you put together, your team and myself put together a package that was undeniable. And then they came back, and of course they approved it because I did it the right way. I didn't know what I was doing. And anybody who's like on the fence, you need help. I know I do have friends who've done it on their own, but it's taken them 10 years, you know. Um, and that's fine if that's how you want to do it, but the value that will be brought for the product, I think in my opinion, you don't charge enough for what I got, and because mine was easy because I had all those afflictions. Here's one thing that I love that you guys didn't do is you don't make it up. You don't lie. And I know there's probably people out there who's like, well, I think blah, blah, but there was at no point did you say, well, do you think you have this? Well, and that never happened. And that would have lost me. You're honest. And I said, if I get 50% and that's where I stay, I'm happy with that. Because if I'm a 50, that's a 50. I'm not going to just make up 100. But yeah, you guys you're completely honest. Um, you did exactly what you said you were going to do. I couldn't be happier. It has absolutely changed my life from moving forward. It's just it's going to change my life on how I approach things, how I get treated for certain things now. Um, and that's just it's just there's just nothing else to say about that. It's just kind of self-explanatory. It makes a big difference.
Right. And the way I look at it, I appreciate you saying that because we don't really brag too much about other than these kind of videos. And we talk to people, when we get to celebrate 98% of the time, it's grinding and fighting and planning and executing, right? And then rinse and repeat many different directions with many different people.
Yeah,
But that's a key thing is that there are non-negotiables with how I operate and how we operate as a team. There will be ethical honesty. There will be nothing pressed. There will be no gray in our world.
yeah,
VA is full of gray. We will not play that game. There are ways to do this the right way, the honest way, the ethical way, and the well-documented way with sound rationales. That is how we do. And, I've had some people ask me, well, what should I say? I say, I can't tell you what to say. I'm
yeah,
not going to tell you what to say. And then they get it, right? And they're like almost shocked. Like, no, this is not we're going to hand you something that, you just signed. That's not how this goes. You tell the truth, and you don't, if people tell the truth, and not just in VA claims, but in life. And here's my message to maybe some of my younger guys out there. If you tell the truth, you don't ever have to worry a day in your life about remembering the story,
yeah,
right? It's just a better way to live. It's a better way to live, to always be honest. When I write something on paper or a document, I know that it was supported in truth. So I don't have to worry like, oh, was this that way, or it doesn't matter. I sleep easy at night. And
yeah,
the other thing that you mentioned about, the price, my intention and our intention is not to extort people and get rich quick schemes and like the claim shark type companies that we are in our industry. We're not that, because of just that. We actually practice what we preach of the golden rule. If you do people right the way you would want to be treated, the Lord and the world and the universe works out for you, usually in your favor over time. If you
yeah.
can treat people well, be an honest dealer, give a good product at a good price, and treat people well, it all takes care of
I,
itself. Because now a guy like Jeff or others are probably ecstatic about sharing what we do. And that's more valuable to me than charging you double or triple or back pay stuff,
yeah.
taking money quickly versus that long-term investment of high quality product with a high quality company.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, I've already been singing your praises. I've already had buddies sign up. I got other people moving that direction. So you're right. I mean, I'm a happy customer. I'm singing your praises daily to anybody who's listening, and I couldn't be happier. The the product that you all put out is well worth the price, and it's an investment in yourself. It's an investment in your family. It's an investment in your future. Um, and then it's just there's only one way to do it, man. You you have to you need help. And if anybody's listening, I am a Woobie fan from now until I get in the ground. I will sing Woobie's praises.
Hurrah. Amen, brother. Well, thank you again, Jeff, for the time. Stay in touch with me, keep me posted, do well, go forth. Not just sharing the word about our company, but just helping your brothers and sisters out
Yep.
there about VA stuff. Now you know so much more about the system.
Yes.
Just help people. Like kind of that golden rule philosophy is spread the word. If they need our help, send them our way. If you can help them, do it yourself, right?
Yep.
And just help them out, give them a peace of mind. Don't let the classic one, especially my Desert Storm guys and even, the pre-GWAT era, is they get kind of stagnant and they don't want to deal with it. And I don't
Right.
blame them. I understand that mentality of philosophy because it's not enjoyable and it's painful. Maybe they've been denied once or twice or 100 times and they're stuck and they say, I don't want to deal with it crap anymore. One thing you can do, we can all do, is press them to do the right thing and advocate for themselves, because there's no interest like self-interest, and the benefits are there that you have earned and you rate. That's a key word. People are leaving things on the table that they rate, and that
Yeah.
bothers me. So that's why we do what we do, and that is my mission and our mission. So
Yeah.
Jeff, I appreciate it, my man, and God bless you and your family, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Doc, and tell your team that I appreciate what they do. I know it's probably a lot of frustration every day on your guys' part, seeing all the crap, but These little wins, man, they're not little, they're big wins. And you all made a big difference in me and my family's life. So just know that.
You're welcome, and that's literally why we do it. And I mean it
Yep.
sincerely to you. It's the good stuff. That's why I want to talk to people afterwards, because it keeps me going and keeps us all going. So I will let our team know. I appreciate it, Jeff.
Perfect. Thank you, Doc.
Take care, my friend.
Well, thank you.